Yo, 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 we tuning into the Notion Podcast. I'm your host, Dizzy D Spill, with my co-host in the building.
Ooh, they feel right.
I
love how he do that.
Yeah, my boy, he been really feeling the style, man, so he wanted me to grab him a pair of shades. You know what I'm saying? So I figured I'd hook my brother up with a pair of Notion Podcast shades, man. Hey, you know what's funny? What's funny, bro, is I had somebody, I've had a couple times in the comment section, people get at me about wearing glasses. It was like, you think you're cool wearing glasses indoors? One person asked me if I was a Black Panther.
Like that whole saying, like, all right, then we got to take our hats off indoors. When we go to the table, take the hat off, take your elbows off the table. You know what I'm saying? Put the napkin on your lap when you
Stuff
go to
that have
eat.
nothing to do with the content.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, man, for the listeners that are better than me. Right now I have a migraine.
Oh, right now?
Right now I have a migraine.
What about last week?
I didn't have a migraine last week.
Oh, that's what they're gonna say. What about the week before?
Yeah, I mean whatever makes y'all feel better, but it works out, right?
Yeah.
It works out, man. Anyways, bro, how you feeling, man?
I'm good.
Good.
Yeah. Kids start school. Jaheim start school this week, and then Naturi is next week.
Yeah. Baby boys start at the end of the week. What's up with that, bro? Why do kids start school? You know what? I ain't even gonna go off on a rant.
By the time your kids is in school, they gonna be in school and starting in July.
They can be starting school on Saturday.
Yeah.
Registration.
No, for sure, mandatory.
But yeah, man, I want to get into these topics, bro. And I'm not gonna lie, some of them speak to me because of your background. So for like starters, you see, I had sent you the article about Teddy Bridgewater, right?
Yeah, I hadn't heard of that till you sent me that.
Yeah, well, I just found it interesting. First of all, I thought it was dope when they first talked about how, he took his team to a championship, things like that.
Because he's a coach at a high school or something?
Yeah.
In South Florida?
Yeah, South Florida.
For sure.
And so I thought that was great because, he had like a flash, to me, it was like a flash NFL career, even though he made enough money to be able to do things for his family, his mom, bought his mom a house and, stuff like that. But the thing that spoke to me the most about this brother's career was mainly what he did off the field, with the kids. Because you have an impact. Like when you coach or you do like any schooling program, after school program and stuff like that, it's a big deal. You impact people, and you probably don't even realize to the magnitude until one day you watching TV and somebody done grew up and shouted you out, And so they spoke to, because he signed with the Bucks, and they spoke to him about, how he felt being disciplined for giving his players a ride home and helping them out. I think he was giving them money for food and stuff like that. So he was suspended. Right. And I wanted to ask you, as somebody, I have a background, but you have a more extensive background with dealing with kids. I wanted to ask you what you thought about that. Have you ever been in that scenario? And why is that such a big deal? That they feel like they got to reprimand people helping.
Not until you just said something right now, like, as you was talking, did it just start clicking for me? I was like, oh, yeah. I started thinking more about the situation. I can say that working for youth programs or after school programs and stuff like that, especially dealing with kids that come from the same communities that you come from,
right?
It's some of them that you're going to have that like big brother, father figure type relationship with, where
right.
Some of them I had that where I lived in the same neighborhood.
Right.
So I was dropping some of the kids off at their house down the street or something.
Yeah.
Even at that time, you're not supposed to. It's a liability.
Yeah.
So when you sign these papers, working for these
the
programs
city
and the cities, it's a liability.
I know I was told that when I used to coach flag football and basketball at the elementary school. You're not allowed to.
You're not allowed to. So I imagine this is a suspension potentially after he's been maybe warned.
Okay.
There may have been some warnings. I'm not saying that it wasn't. It could have been just that that's the first they got to deal with it, and that could be based on situations that may have occurred prior to where they got to get in front of it right away. I'm not sure about what school he was at. It could just depend on the name of the school and how, you know what I'm saying, they just have to do certain, they do things the way they do them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They bought a book with it. There's no leniency on some things, but I wouldn't lean towards it being racial at all. Like, a lot of people sometimes jump to it like, well, what if it was a white coach? And I guarantee you there's been white coaches who
that have gotten in trouble. Probably helping out black kids.
Yeah.
Probably helping out black kids too.
Yeah, we can't just always jump to saying, oh man, race this, or what if they was white. But what I could say is he may have been warned, but again, it is a liability when you're dealing with the kids, because if anything happens through that transportation period, in the car, there could be something that maybe happened, an accident, or even just anything that you could put your mind to could potentially happen, and now the school is liable because they're not responsible for transportation of the kids or any of that after the school. Like, their
district is.
You know what I'm saying? There would be like some sort of, there's the school bus and stuff like that, but teachers ain't dropping kids off at home all the time.
Right.
It just depends on, it actually does happen all the time where teachers are dropping kids off at school, you know what I'm saying? I
think for me, man, it's just, it's tough. I mean, you said that you've been in scenarios, and for me, it's just like, especially like the black community, the lack of resources, the dangers out there. And I just think that that's kind of an outdated way of doing things. I think, when you're dealing with scenarios where your district or your school is lacking the proper funding to be able to make sure these kids can get home, then maybe there needs to be some kind of release of liability type of situation so your child can get home if your coach is willing to drop them off or whatever. The only reason why I say that is because I remember, and I think I shared this on the podcast before, I had an athlete on my team, that a basketball player, his name was Malik. And it was funny because I was like 19 when I was coaching, right? And the kids was like, is Malik your son? Because we both had braids. We both had the same skin complexion and eye color. I was like, nah, Malik is not my son. He would be way too old. But he walked so far from school to home. Like, I don't even know, not to bash his parents because I don't know the circumstances, but it was just like, that's really far for a kid. And we couldn't, and I always felt bad because I couldn't give him a ride home. So at the end of the season, I gave him a bike. You know what I mean? And it's just crazy because in our community, we lack so many resources. And then when you have like a couple people that want to go above and beyond out of their own pocket, they can still be reprimanded because of outdated standards and rules. Where it's like something got to be in place, man. Because I think
I lean more towards not even just I wouldn't even say resources necessarily all the time in these situations. I feel like what he was doing it for is one of the reasons a lot of people do it for. Is there are buses after school. A lot of the kids live in these neighborhoods. They're on foot. There's the school's buses and then the city buses and all these different types of transportations. It's dangerous.
It is.
So
it's very dangerous.
You are basically unsupervised, and you got to deal with the navigation of other youth and just the world. So
very dangerous.
All kind of stuff that pop off after school.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about that is when you think about it, you're a minor and your coach can't give you a ride home because of whatever laws, right?
Right.
But the minute you start walking home or taking the city transportation, you are in an adult world. You're in one of the most unsafe imagine you're in one of the most unsafe environments because certain standards and practices within the school. It's just really confusing and backwards. And I felt for both sides. I felt for the kids that he was helping, and then I felt for him. You know what I mean? Where you're getting reprimanded. It's like there's so many things you could reprimand people. I mean, these teachers is crazy nowadays. From putting their hands on kids to putting their hands on kids. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a lot of that.
You know what I mean? So you know, coaches getting reprimanded for helping out is kind of crazy. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I know you had that background, and I know you've probably been in scenarios where you helped, and I'm pretty sure that, you know, whoever it is that you went out of your way for probably has a lot of respect for you. Remember that they ran into you, they much older, you know, and that's some stuff ain't part of the job, but it's a necessity to the kids' experience.
Yeah, I will want to know more of the particulars, like what led up to the suspension. Was there any kind of pre-warning or anything like that?
Right.
I mean, it seemed like he cool. It's not like he seemed like he was too down on himself about it.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? But
and you know, like I said, you know, the community, you know, our community gonna come up like, man, it's racist. I'm like, I didn't look at it as a race thing. I look at that as more like
he
the
signed
system.
a contract, and that's one of the stipulations is that right there. So take it how you want it.
Yep, that's real, man. And while we're on the subject, bro, I wanted to definitely had to ask you this. And I'm gonna tell you where this came from. Do you think there's a difference between the perception and the experience with black generational wealth and white generational wealth? And you know what I'm saying, in society?
Explain that question a little bit more.
So where I got this conversation from, sometimes I watch a lot of panels, you know, and it's a lot of us talking on the panels. And even, you know, there's family discussions about generational wealth. And a lot of times in our community, and I'm generalizing when I say we, I'm not saying like me or you. We talk about generational wealth and we say, I wish somebody had taught me this. I wish somebody had showed me that, you know, or we need to create generational wealth. And I feel like in our community, I believe in our community, it's more of a construct or not a construct, more of a system and a repeated conversation. But I believe on the other side of the tracks, it's a way of life. And so I think in our community we view it differently.
So like you saying, black folks are doing what, on our side. What are we doing?
It's more of a conversation than action.
I don't know.
And I feel like, and I believe like on the other side, it's more of a way of life. And there's a reason why it's that way, obviously.
I don't know if I believe that is just a conversation. I think
I feel like it's more of a conversation than action.
I don't know. Look at all these different examples. And I'm not even talking about the most famous people in society.
Bro, we don't even have to bring up famous people.
But there are a lot of people, black folks, who are building generational wealth.
Exactly.
So are you saying that you believe that we talking more than doing?
I believe two things at the same time. I believe there's more talking than doing, and the things that we're witnessing now is more of a starting point than past experiences. It doesn't mean people in the past never done it, but the prevalence of it.
I think because there's more opportunities for us to do it.
You think so?
Right now.
Okay.
Yeah, like
what
a lot of us, a lot of what we do is talking.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that came out of the necessity because we had to talk about it because our ability to access was limited. Mm-hmm. So we didn't have all these different avenues to build generational wealth. And as in the 21st century, there's a lot more opportunities for people to create for themselves. And especially now in the 2020s and in the last, 20-something years, there's been a lot more opportunities for black folks to build generational wealth. And one of the biggest catalysts for that is hip hop. All the different avenues that people have been able to.
You feel like hip hop exposed the ways to make more generational wealth, is what you're saying?
Yeah, because one, it was, all right, you making money off the music. So not only just being an artist, but all the different people in the cogs in the wheel. There's executives, and there's these different
the
positions.
A&Rs, the
All
producers,
those, right?
the engineers, the choreographers, the
magazines,
the blog,
the television shows.
Right.
Then we have hip hop artists also stepping out of the music and showing how they are also
they're opening
wealth.
Passive income. And
so we are now seeing ourselves being able to create or go into these different businesses.
Seeing what they're doing with
avenues,
their money,
when we might not have been able to see ourselves there before. We see it, and we believe it, we can attain it. So I think now a lot more people are going into that. Then we got hip hop artists going, people going into food and different. So it's not just music, but the music has been
and athletes. They're opening their own coffee shops. And,
athletes as well.
Yeah.
The music was a what would I say? A vehicle for all of these different opportunities for Black folks now to be able to build generational wealth. Okay. So I would say that that's my answer right there. But,
okay, I rock with that. The reason why I made this statement of more talking than doing is because I think me and you, we've had a unique experience, and I still think our experiences can be different, even though similar, right? We've had the unique experience of growing up around predominantly Black folks and predominantly other, right? And so with that, we've been able to experience like how different family dynamics are that are non-Black and Black, right? And one of the things that dawned on me is like, when I would think about our culture and I would think about the success growing up, I would always look at like you had to do something fantastic to have a comfortable life. You need to be a doctor, you need to be a lawyer, you need to be famous. And so when you were just explaining that we have more resources now, I think we've been conditioned to believe we always had limited resources because we always were either shown or we only showed each other certain things. And I'll give you an example.
I got a great response to that because you did just give me an idea.
Yeah, and we could build. But the example was like earlier today, my wife told me about an article she was reading where this dad wanted to make sure that his son had, consistent income. His son was autistic. And so he opened up a car wash and he had the son work at the car wash. And before you know it, everybody that worked at the car wash was autistic. It grew into something bigger than what he thought, right? We don't, but growing up, it wasn't common to say, hey, listen, you could be an entrepreneur, open up you a little car wash, little laundromat. It was always the thing that looked good on paper instead of it being the thing that could feed the family for generations. So it would make more sense that when we were growing up to think we only had limited, because everything that was amplified as far as what would be deemed successful or what would be deemed as a decent way of living was limited. We knew that everybody couldn't be a doctor, everybody couldn't be a lawyer, everybody couldn't go to the NBA, NFL, but a lot of things that were lucrative and that could be passed down to from generation to generation were a lot more simple than we thought.
All right, so what about this? And I agree with what you say. And this ain't even my original response, what I was going to say to that. What if it's that or a comment? Maybe it's we had tunnel vision.
Yes.
So our tunnel vision.
That's basically the long explanation of tunnel vision. Yeah.
But for what I think our tunnel vision is that we're not thinking about building generational wealth. We weren't. And that's circumstantial because not every Black family was able to even get to a level of median or middle class American family success.
Right.
So,
the American dream. And
right.
Yeah.
So you thinking about once your family attains it, oftentimes it's so difficult, and there's not many people in in many black families. There are a lot of black families where there's many people who are successful in those families.
Right.
But there might be, for instance, a family that only are this group of family within this family, they might have some level of success. They may be middle class.
Right.
But not until they reach a level of comfort success do they have maybe this thought of building. What am I going to leave now? Like now you have this different level of where you start thinking. A lot of us is trying to get to somewhere so long that we're not thinking about what we're going to give our
I'm trying to get mine.
We're trying to get ours. And by that time, it's like your kids or your offspring may not reap the benefits of whatever success. So for me, my experience as a child was a lot of my family and even friends of ours that came over, like when we moved to Visalia, like some of my white friends or people would come over and they thought my parents had some level of like being rich or something. Like I had, like even when we lived in Oakland, one of my family members was saying like we was rich. And it was only because my parents and my dad, especially being the main one, was just knew how to use their money and spend their money. They wouldn't, their careers also for me, my experience was I didn't really care about trying to be rich. It was like, oh, I could live comfortably and live like this and have like a good job. My dad is a psychologist, but he's not like making hella money. My mom has, many positions within the city. And so it's like.
You did break it down because I told you first time I spent the night over there, man, I thought y'all was like the Banks family. Because we sat at the table. The first time I had oxtail, I was like, I felt like
that's when oxtail wasn't hella expensive too.
Yeah. So, well, see, you see what I'm saying though? It reminded me of that when Dave Chappelle said he went to go spend it over his white friend's house, and he said, "Mom, Dad, you guys got to get your stuff together. Everything in Timmy's house works." That's how. I mean, y'all had a game room.
Yeah.
We had to pick like if it's mom watching TV,
but when you say even game room, just think about this. We just put TVs and the games in there.
And the computer.
It was just a den. It was like we had a 2-bedroom house that could have been a 3 maybe.
But I figured it out.
You know what I'm saying? So
you was the only child.
I'm an only child.
So I figured it out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break down why it was such a big deal.
Right.
And why I was like, yo, they rich, man. So I gotta stay close to this dude, man. You know what I'm saying? This is the richest person in Visalia, man. So I'm gonna tell you what it was. In our community and in our culture, it's more common to pull up on a black family's house. It's clothes everywhere. It might be a couple aggressive roaches. You know what I'm saying? You might get a whiff. You might get a whiff of a piss smell in one of the rooms.
Are you here? People might be arguing. Some level of dysfunction.
Yeah, y'all were tidy. Y'all were clean. And then you got to think like.
And then we did things together.
And y'all did things together. You did everything that we would see the black family do on TV. You know what I'm saying? You had
And then my mom could look like Aunt Viv, and my pops could definitely look like Uncle Phil.
So your mom definitely gave Aunt Viv energy, so and your dad. Yeah, you were kind of like Carlton.
I
and
would rather
Will.
be Carlton than I was Carlton and Will.
You was Carlton and Will, right? And I'm gonna tell you why.
Ooh.
And
Baby Nikki though.
No, not Baby Nikki.
Okay.
And then your dad was like Uncle Phil and Furious Styles.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got to think about
Mom's
even that.
Was Angela Bassett and
Aunt Viv.
I didn't do the science before.
You see what I'm saying? I had years to put this together, right?
Facts.
So think about this.
No lie, like this is no exaggeration.
Yeah,
like if you look at my mom at that time, and look at my pops. They resemble.
They were a hybrid of those characters. Yeah.
But they resemble them.
Right.
Yeah.
So think about it like this.
Yeah.
How many black kids experienced that norm growing up?
I'll tell you this. None of my friends growing up, actually except one, rest in peace, my boy Max. I don't remember any of my friends living with both of their parents at all. That was Max was my one. Now I could think Max. He lived with his mom and dad. None of my black friends, I could say.
You see what I'm saying?
None of my black friends. Like my white friends.
It was more common to have white friends. Not to say that, because we did have like white friends.
They all had mom and dad.
Mom and dad.
Think of the houses that I went to. Not all of them.
A lot of them.
But if I went to their house,
more than us,
and I saw their house,
more than us.
I'm gonna let you get back to what you were saying. But what opened my eyes to what was different about my family and what's different, what's crazy is what I expected of like white kids and their houses and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's true.
It wasn't on. It's not on point like
how the perception is.
And flip it back on what you were saying. A lot of black families, though, you go in their house, shit is together though.
Yeah.
Like you might on the outside, it look like, damn, this shit finna be crazy. And you go in there, and even though everything ain't new, there's some order to it.
Oh yeah.
They don't play the you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You get some families that's off the Richter, but for the most part, I've definitely experienced a lot of black families. You go in their house and shit is in order together.
So mindset is kind of like where I was going with it too.
Okay.
Because it's like when you get in a certain environment, you it's funny how people can straighten up, right? Yeah. Like the most hood person, if they go in a room full of very professional people that look important, he gonna try to straighten himself up a little bit. Because he feels like, or she or they may feel like, I don't want my energy to come off disrespectful. That's how powerful like presentation is, right? And so when I look at like the generational wealth, because we know there's a wealth gap, we know all of that stuff, but the reason why I say in other communities it could come off more like a way of life is because the conversations that are being had, we're trying to get to that point. We're trying to, that tunnel vision, we're trying to get here so we can be good, when I feel like a lot of other families, and I'm not talking about even rich ones, I'm talking about lower middle class, the conversation is what I'm going to leave you. So like as little kids, I feel like in a lot of communities, little kids know where it's like, yeah, one day my dad said this is going to be mine. It could be his Mustang, right? Or it could be, you know, his family, or his gun collection, whatever the case is. But as a child, their mindset is they already know that things are going to be handed to them because their mom or their dad or they it said so, or even their grandpa. You know, my grandpa said I can have this when he was gone.
But is that really what's happening, or is that perception?
I've seen it. And the thing is, and I'll give you an example.
Like I'm saying,
what's more common in our community? When your ass get 18, or because I'm giving you an ultimatum. Is it more common to hear when your ass get 18, you got to go do this, and you ain't gonna just be blah 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 blah? Or hey, check this out. When you get 18, we gonna have a conversation because I set some things in play for you, and it's gonna be your job to manage it. It's gonna be your job to maintain it. I feel like the other one is more common. It's more common.
So what if it was because of this? As you're saying, I'm starting to think of like reasons why things might be different now. Like we have the opportunity.
It's shifting.
So, but think about this. What if that? I think that 18 kind of get out my house thing, I think there was a period of time when that was what, I don't think that black folks have been doing that for generations. I think that just
circumstances did that. Yeah.
So what would lead parents and black parents to say when you're 18 you got to get out of here?
Circumstances like don't bring no babies to my house. Or you gonna have to, or you gonna
pay extra for a grown person who can get out there and get it themselves.
Yeah.
So this is maybe where that type of thought process is on. When you get 18, you know you got to get up out here and get a job. And then it starts leading into, now that's just the culture and what we say.
Well, there's a lot of moving parts, but I'll tell you the hot ones. The hot ones was, you know, you brought a baby back home, you doing grown stuff, you gonna have to do grown stuff the whole way. So you need to get a job, and eventually you have to move out because I'm not raising no more babies. I raised y'all, right?
Yeah, but a lot of us was also on.
That's just
Section 8 and government housing.
It's just one. Yeah. It's just one. The other one is the struggle, like you said, people are in housing and stuff like that. The mom, a lot of time, if she's doing everything by herself, she's overwhelmed. And especially with young men, they're growing up, they can smell themselves, like we say, and they challenging their mom. Okay, well, if you think you grown, you need to go out there, because she's already frustrated and stressed out. I got to work. I got to do this. I've had to get your behind from school. So all of that buildup of having to do everything by themselves, it's like, well, now you're of age. You go out there and get it.
And when you're on government housing, or if you're on like EBT or any of that, food stamps and once that 18-year-old,
you're now an adult, and you can't
counted as income.
Yeah, and you can't be an adult living in the, So there's those moving parts, and then you got the classic dad. If you grew up with your parents, there comes a time where dad and son are beefing. It's like, you don't want to listen to what I got. You've been having an attitude for years. You can go out there and get. But I believe, bro, that has shifted. It's not as prevalent as it used to be, like for our generation and Gen X, right? But it still has its effects, because while the generations were dealing with figuring that out, other groups understood the ramifications by making such a emotional decision to say, hey, you gonna go out there, you figure it out. You don't want to listen. You know what I'm saying? And we're seeing the results of that. Not necessarily everything ain't the family's fault. The economy is what it is. Politicians made policies and stuff like that. But the mindset, it still lingers here in our community, even though at the same time we have people that are understanding life insurance and starting businesses and putting things in your kid's name and custodial accounts and all these things that can help the youth. The only thing that concerns me is that even though we're getting better at trying to pass things down, how much are we educating? And that's why I keep going back to the mindset of, like, our counterparts, they're taught as kids. It doesn't mean that they're doing it better. It just means they're taught as kids the understanding and the importance of certain things, versus a lot of us growing up and coming across that information to understand. And then what happens to a lot of us is when we start understanding those things, we looking back like, hey, mom, dad, why didn't you? And then the conversation starts, well, I never knew. Well, this is all I knew, and this is what I was doing. And I learned that the older we get, because we have like 20 different conversations in the community. You have the ghetto conversation, the generational wealth conversation, the work hard hustle conversation, the too lazy conversation, the baby daddy, baby mama culture conversation, the 50-50 conversation. But the one conversation I believe that hasn't been consistent enough and effective enough is this one.
It's not in the algorithm enough.
Yeah, it's not in the algorithm enough. And the reason why I say is black generational wealth and white generational wealth, what's the difference in how we see things? Because no matter how much we like it or not, they're still at the top of the food chain as far as in the things that are in the things that they control, the things that they're able to oversee. And it's not so much that that's the goal, it's understanding how that happens and how you can make a difference in your family or in your community to have the same thing. Well, another inspiration behind this conversation is something we talked about before with the Ozark, Arkansas, them building their own community. It's just predominantly white, no gays, no this, that, and the other. And there's been this outcry. And I've seen a couple white folks come out and say, I don't understand why black people are mad. I don't either, bro. I don't know why but then
ain't nobody going to Arkansas.
And
trust me.
But I also commended a lot of white folks that came out and said, okay, for starters, it's one thing to say, go build your own, but it's another thing to say, like, we never tried, because we did. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's my only My only pushback. Black folks should not be mad because other communities are building their own. I'm going to tell you that right. I'll be the first one. Yeah. Don't get mad because other communities are building their own. But I do feel you if there's people out there that are uneducated and believe that we just don't have the power to do that, and we never done that in the past. It was done 3 times in history, in American history.
I think it was more than that.
No, I'm just giving the bare minimum. There's way more communities. I read an article. I don't know how true it is, but I read an article that some black folks had something to do with L.A. You know what I'm saying?
So that town in it was in California in the Central Valley or something. That what town was that? I forget. Somewhere near Tulare or something like that. It was they just got they town back or something like that.
You see? You know what I mean?
The name or rights? I don't know,
it's all kinds of stuff in court documents with that. But I definitely wanted to pick your brain on that because that generational. I see it all the time on social media. Generational wealth, and I know there's people out there that's selling courses, selling insurance, and all of that stuff. But the common conversation of like, what conversations are we having versus others? And what do we need to shift in those conversations to make it more aggressive in a positive direction? You know what I mean?
Continue having these type of conversations.
Yeah.
Kind of, black folks like to be trendy. So once you kind of put things in the atmosphere and you have these...
You got 40 other people that's on the same time.
Algorithms start building, then now everybody wants to start talking about it.
Yeah. And I mean, and we threw some examples out there, but I think that more people wanting to be in entrepreneurship, I think it's more healthy. I seen a guy on Instagram. I did not follow him because he sounded like a fool. He said 20 businesses you shouldn't start that don't make any money. And he named like 6 of them that definitely make money. Every business can fail if you're not prepared. He said laundromats don't. He said clothing brand.
One of the oldest.
He said clothing. He said starting a clothing merchandise. He said car washes. I said, bro, you basically
work. Those is the first ones niggas run to.
I'm telling you,
a laundromat and a car wash. That's where the money getting washed.
Yeah, I was just laughing because there's people out there that probably follow this guy and 100% are like, man, you see what he said.
Nigga, I made $120-something off my first car wash washing 4 cars. Boy, is you crazy?
Look,
man gave me a tip.
Look, I got a homie, and shout out to the homie Money. He quit the job October of last year. Earlier this year, dude sent me a screenshot of like $1,500 he made off of TikTok, right? And then later on, after that, I believe he made 15 bands. He said he got so overwhelmed, he was about to quit because that's how many shirts he was selling. He was selling so many shirts on TikTok, somebody stole his design and started selling their shirts and making money off of it. You dig what I'm saying? So sitting down and listening to somebody that wouldn't do something and saying that it wouldn't work because it's something they wouldn't do is crazy. Car washes work, laundromats work, cleaning services work, mobile cleaning services work.
People always need a car wash, and they like hand car washes a lot.
Well,
people always gonna need to wash their doggone clothes at a laundromat because sometimes the apartment ones don't work or they don't
have them.
Then what was the other one?
He said car washes, laundromats. Oh yeah, clothing brands. Yeah, he said clothing brands.
Clothing brand. I mean, people always gonna wear clothes.
What if you created a clothing brand, and somebody probably gonna take this idea? What if you created a clothing brand that was specifically for people with sensitive skin? Now you're in your own lane.
They got those. I'm
just saying, what if you did? If you decided to do that, right?
Yeah.
Because there's not a whole because here's the thing, there's not tons of options. It's not everywhere you go, right? But you could create anything. But those things that I think that I named, the most important thing about it is these are also businesses that you could pass down. You know what I mean? I read a study that said between now and 2030, 2032, we're going to see a lot of millionaires. And I wasn't interested in the article until I kept reading because I was like, man, I'm tired of these clickbait and stuff. But it explained why. And it said because now a lot of boomers are retiring that own mom and pop shops, that own businesses that's been around 30, 40, 50 years. So what's going to happen is people that got a little money that can buy the business, people are going to inherit the business, stuff like that. So we are living, even though the economy isn't what we want it to be, we're still living in a time where a lot of people are going to see a boost in lifestyle and income and stuff like that. But yeah, I seen some panels having this conversation about the state of our culture. And I was like, okay, I'm interested in this. And I was like, I'm going to bring a different angle of the conversation, to our platform. And then there was something that I came across as well that was within the same conversation about the state of race relations right now. And it was a person that looks like, I've seen several people that look like us, that share our melanin, say things about our community that I just,
like what?
I gotta disagree with. And I'm gonna show you one, brother. But one guy made a very controversial statement saying that we are the most hateful, the most jealous, and the most racist group in this country right now. I laughed at it. I thought it was hilarious, because I wanted to pick apart all those words, and by definition.
Yeah, go get ChatGPT.
So black, so yeah, we had one of our own say that we are most hateful, racist, jealous. Well, the thing that I think is interesting is I'm gonna break down because what people do is they use their own personal experiences and they say that this is the general consensus, right? Here's my thing. Let's break down racist because we've talked about this word all over the internet. And there's going to be some people that try to pull in a second definition, right? But, and one of the examples that was used was hip hop. It was funny. But when we talk about racist, the true meaning, the true essence, the true DNA of racism and racist comes from oppressing another group. You not liking another group means you're more prejudiced because your reason for not liking that group is most likely a prejudgment or a stereotype, right? Mm-hmm. But to be racist, you have to have the ability and enforce that ability to oppress another group because of the color of their skin, correct? I need to know, what part of history did African Americans oppress another group, was hateful to another group? I'm not talking about individuals. I'm not talking about celebrities. I'm talking about a mass number of us successfully, while we're at it, oppress another group or destroy another community.
Tell me if this makes sense, and I'm going to answer your question. But as you said, I was just sitting here thinking and the wheels was turning. Mm-hmm. Because I was trying to figure out how to distinguish the two groups of what we would say is a racist white person and a prejudiced white person, or someone who's a bigot. Right. And I'm like, okay, well, there are two types of racists in some people's eyes if you're going to go with the actual definition, and then those people who just don't like them. Some people are still going to, that's the language now, right? Right. And I was like, damn, when you said oppress another person, I'm like, oh yeah, there was a time when a white person would, most if not all white people had the ability to be oppressive to black folks because there was no civil rights law. Right. So you could,
it still gets done without the laws.
It still gets done.
But
with
there
the laws
are
no real laws that where black men can't congregate in groups, or there's these different types of ways that white folks was able to oppress black folks, even when it came to where they could sit, eat, buses they could ride, jobs they could have, homes they could live in. There are still ways that they do
employment
and all that. So at that time, people was racist, and white people was racist, whether we want to go with the now actual definition of someone who's like maybe a politician or somebody who has, the power to make things
some power,
move, right? So maybe that's just the language is like people have this still tied to years before the Civil Rights Act of what a racist was and after that. Is that, does that make sense? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
Because I mean, still all of, so once you call someone a racial slur as a white person, you may true-heartedly not dislike black people, and you might be in the moment just saying something mean to someone, but you're going to be called a racist, and then you're confused as to like you've stepped into the realm of being a racist even though you're not, because
you're already wearing that jacket. They already put that jacket on you,
and now you're confused, and you're like, but I'm not a racist. Like I was like, and they're confused because they're like, I'm not racist, but I did call them something like that, but I was just mad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know we all be in our car saying shit.
Oh yeah.
You know
oh yeah, man. With the windows up.
So I don't know. I was just going through that whole thought process. Like,
well, I look at it like when you say racist and all that other stuff, what are you trying to accomplish when you say, oh, that person's right? Because right now, what's happening right now currently is reaction. So you seen the Sydney Sweeney situation with American Eagle, and how a lot of black folks were like, it's racist because of the things that were the continuity and the things that were being said.
what happened with that?
She did American Eagle jeans ad,
I heard it.
you know,
clever.
And
If
so
that's what it was, clever.
But here, the first thing I said, because I talked to Bree about it, the first thing I said was, hold on. How many of us are shopping at American Eagle?
That'd be my point.
We having another Ozark conversation where somebody wants to do something and we not even over there. I've went to American Eagle one time to buy my wife a jacket before she was my wife.
I used to buy some shit up out of American Eagle, but you know my little style. I like plaid shirts and shit like that. But at the same time,
we not up in there like that.
It's not
right.
It's not happening.
But this is what happened. This is the reaction part I was telling you about. Beyonce's ad dropped for Levi. And then I seen a whole bunch of white folks, because I already knew what time it was. Oh, she's appropriating white culture by wearing the same hair color as Marilyn Monroe, which I thought was very clever for the ones that said that. I was like, you know what? That was great. Except Marilyn Monroe was not naturally, her hair was not naturally white. Or blonde. I'm sorry. It wasn't blonde. Right? She was actually a redhead, I believe.
I think so.
So we hijacking colors.
And if you want to go to Papua New Guinea, then you'll see all the black folks with blonde afros. So, reverse Uno.
Reverse Uno, right? But the thing is, you know, from somebody that rarely pay attention to Beyonce has always had like a blonde look throughout the majority of her career. So why now? But I just knew, okay, this is a response.
I like the pettiness.
Yeah, it was a petty. Yeah, they just got to get better at it. The ones that were saying something, they just got to get a little bit better at it, because that's not really
white
appropriation.
Folks like they're good at sarcasm.
Oh yeah.
When you dealing with black folks, especially black women, and y'all want to be like
tit for tat.
They're petty.
Yeah, the sisters. Like, you can't out petty the sisters.
You can't out petty the black.
Oh, Pierce Morgan was the main person spearheading that debauchery about Beyonce. By the way,
send Mark Lamont at his ass.
Yeah, man, he was you know using that as an example. And it's like, see, what y'all got to understand. I'm gonna just make this quick.
Pierce was trying to be trying to dig on the irony,
but he was really doubling down on Beyonce though. Yeah. So here's what here's what y'all got to understand. All right, this is what y'all got to understand, people. When black people, and this is for the sisters, so this is for the sisters, because I know sometimes y'all feel like the brothers don't defend y'all and all this other stuff. When the sisters specifically talk about other groups and other cultures, saying that you're appropriating and stuff like that, they are looking at it like, this is how we live, and you guys are capitalizing as if it's a trend. This is how we live. This is really how we do this day in and day out. Dress, wear hair, talk, all of that stuff. And it's entertainment to you. And it's how we live to us.
Y'all cosplaying is what they're saying.
Cosplaying for sure.
So
that's why the sisters get mad about the hairstyles.
And because y'all made it, y'all got to go back in history. Since y'all, since we going back in history and we holding all these different people accountable in hip hop and all that, why don't y'all go back in history and hold them other people accountable that y'all forefathers? Let's start holding them accountable.
Yeah.
Because they was the ones who had the issues with our hair. We was fine living it up in Africa.
Yep.
It was true, just like Bernie Mac said, bucket naked.
Bucket naked.
Living in Africa.
Living in Africa.
Chilling.
Right.
Tropical weather. You know what I'm saying? Family, we chilling, and then y'all came, picked us up, hijacked us, took us over here.
You got to remember though. Some of these historians was like, "Hey, hold on, your people sold some of your ancestors."
It's suckers in every group. It's infiltrate. It's turncoats in every group. Okay, y'all still came and got us and took us over here, and then had an issue with our hair, and so y'all wanted us to make y'all comfortable. So we started appropriating, if you will, y'all hair, because with our hair,
it wasn't appropriating. Now let's get it right. It wasn't. Black folks was not appropriating anything. But we got to help them. We got to help some of these folks.
So we was forced to use y'all hairstyles.
To make it comfortable.
And then it grew into a culture. We've been here for hundreds of years, maybe even more. So this is a 100-year thing going on. This ain't nothing now. We just trendy. Ooh, we want to look like y'all. Some of them, sometimes they might want to.
Well, a lot of, and here's the thing. While we talking about like black folks, what people need to understand is throughout the world, Eurocentric beauty standards have been at the top of the list for decades, right? For decades. I've seen very talented artists from other countries adopting Eurocentric looks. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's been promoted as the beauty status or the attractive status. When you look at it's no mistake. It all started from entertainment. You see what I'm saying?
What?
So how can you appropriate something that was literally been promoted as the standard on a mass scale globally?
What if Eurocentric beauty standards, they have wanted us to, or not even beauty standards, they want us to be like them. And then when we see them wanting to be like us, we are flattered. They see us being us, and they want us to be like them to be comfortable. And we look at them and be like, y'all invited to the cookout.
Which brings me to the next question. Because remember, I said, I heard the argument that black people are hateful, racist, jealous groups, right? Well, why are we always inviting so many different people that don't look like us to the cookout if we're so hateful?
Why?
But right? Is Gary Owen does Gary Owen have a pass to the cookout?
Yeah, his wife can't even come to the cookout no more. But he could.
Does Eminem have a pass to the cookout?
Yeah, see, and the thing when we say the cookout thing, like, I don't know, should we even be saying that as much?
What's dude's name? Joseph. What's his last name? The dude that plays Tommy from Power.
Oh yeah, I don't remember his last name. Is he?
But he's a favorite in the show. By who? Black folks, right? The list goes on. The list goes on.
But we don't try to put it off onto them. We don't try to force other people to be like us.
They've done something in their career. They've done something in their career to make a mass amount of black people be like, "Hey, man, I would chill with you around my people." But I'm just saying, even historically, the melanated people of the world don't go around attempting to make other people be like them necessarily. Yeah, for sure. Like, that's not our thing to go around and be like, "Hey, now you got to be like us." Yeah. That's a vast difference in the type of people. Like, y'all going around the world to make everybody be like y'all. But the people that I named, what I find interesting is I believe them. You know why? Because there's still certain things that they do that's not of our culture, and you can tell that's just them. When you look at Eminem, Eminem has never looked like a rapper, bro. Nah. He's never dressed. He's never looked hip hop. Nah. Them dad hats. He looked more like like he going breakdance. Yeah, he looked like a mixture of a breakdancer and a skater. Yeah, right. Sure. Matter of fact, the way he raps, he don't have like that swag in his cadence to say, oh yeah, he hung out with brothers. It's just that he's that nice at what he does. And those are the things that make us look at it like, oh yeah, he cool. He cool as hell. You know what I'm saying? Or he's
like Paul Wall or Millie's.
Right, but see, when you look at those guys, look where they was at. They sound like us, but they sound like us from the South. You know what I'm saying? Here, check this out. White folks from the South and black folks from the South sound identical because that's the Southern culture.
Yeah, they be talking the same.
You know, they just talk the same. It's kind of hard to say that somebody from the South sounds white or black.
But this is prior to the new YN South talk.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
That's true. They try to talk like they're not saying something.
Yeah. They go hard for that. So it's safe to say that we can kind of debunk the whole hateful, right? Because we've been more inviting. We actually give credit where credit is due, especially if somebody do something like us or better than us. And the reason why I wanted to bring up Eminem is because when I watched this panel, so many people were saying that, oh, well, Eminem, and I think this came from Lord Jamar, right? Where he's a guest in the house of hip hop and he can't be the best in hip hop. And because he can't be the best, black people are being racist about that. And I was just kind of like, are we reaching right now? Like, and then you've heard some people say, well, how can he be the best? Don't nobody ever say, cut that Eminem on. And I'm just like, so are we moving the goalposts? Like what standards are we measuring, you know, and why we're having a conversation about black folks being racist in hip hop when we don't even control hip hop either? Y'all know that, right? Y'all know we don't control hip hop. We have the ability to destroy it by not participating, but we do not control it because we have no levels of control in hip hop. All your favorite music moguls is under a bigger company.
I mean, I think we control hip hop, but not the business of hip hop. Which
controls it?
I mean, yeah.
We control the trends. We control a lot of the sounds. If we all said today we're not listening and participating in hip hop, it would be destroyed in a matter of weeks.
Yeah, but that's like.
But when I say control, I mean the business side. A lot of times decides what songs get put out, how much money get put into an artist and a project. It affects them in a real way.
Yeah, it's true, but it's like almost like Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah.
You could come in and take away and have all control over how much thread can be spun from this hay that turned into gold thread.
Yeah, for sure.
But you can't do it. So you can control all of this.
Well, that's why you have to get into control,
but
because you can't.
Always be creating. We're the creation of it. Like it's who we are. So there's gonna always be these different changes as far as the music and the sound and the trends and all that.
Yeah.
But they can control how people are exposed.
They can control your exposure, your success, things like that. And so, you know, looking at it from that scale, it was like, first of all, y'all making an argument for Eminem, the argument that Eminem didn't make. I think that's funny too when people do that. The second thing is if you're going to use hip hop, one sector or part of the black culture to try to make a point, I think it's a reach. I think the more consistent you are with a group of people, the better argument you have. But if you got to go here and hyper focus on something that everybody ain't even going to really agree with in masses, then you're just reaching at that point. You know what I'm saying? So in my opinion, based off how we just broke everything down, we're definitely not a jealous group because we trend set all the time. It's kind of hard for a trendsetter to be jealous.
Yeah, how are we jealous of
anything? If anything.
We ain't
But hold on, you
jealous.
got to remember, it was a brother that said that we were hateful, racist, and jealous. So
jealous?
Yes.
We're not jealous. We might envy.
I'm gonna be real.
But we ain't jealous, bro.
Okay, if we are jealous and envious, who are we jealous and envious towards? Because I do agree with that, but I don't agree with it in the way that this person said it.
envy other groups being able to have access to things that we don't have, and that we as black people have fought for everybody else's benefit, but are not reaping those same benefits. The Civil Rights Act included all the other groups that are receiving all these different benefits and have all this different control and access that black folks do not and have not had. Yet we included y'all into what is now called the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Y'all was, at first, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. wasn't focused on y'all. He was focused on black folks, but he had understood that in order for us to win, everybody else got to be inclusive in that. And so he changed his mindset. So let's start there.
I'm glad you said that, because here's my point. My point is this, brother. When I look at that particularly, we can sit up here and we can say, as far as a group, that, yeah, those are some good reasons to be envious, right? I think that's a natural thing to say, I made this just for somebody else to benefit off of it, right? But here's what I'll say as well. The jealous aspect of things, we're more jealous of each other than anybody. You know what I'm saying? That's just the belief. We are way more jealous of each other than anybody. So if I had to pick a group of people that black folks are jealous of the most, and I mean on a it's not even funny as far as the gap, as far as in who would be jealous to next, black people are more jealous than other black people than anybody else.
Oh yeah, jealous of each other?
We're more jealous of each other because when we see one of us make it in a way that we want to make it, or do something that we want to do, or whatever. I'm going to be honest. I believe, just to believe, when I hear black folks drag Michael Jordan because he don't do what they want him to do with his money, I think it's pure jealousy.
Yeah, saying that he has, like, why he ain't never speaking on black issues. And it's like,
not only that, but he's also I don't know if it's still true, but they said something about him owning prisons. Like, he owns a private prison. He owns a private prison. So it's like, all the brothers getting locked up, you own prisons. Because you know your boy that we was talking about, he don't like Michael Jordan. Boy was talking about it on the podcast.
Oh, word.
Yeah, he don't like Jordan.
What if Michael Jordan feel like, why I gotta speak up on black issues when I inspired millions of black kids around the world and in America to become basketball players who are now have been able to support their families for generations? What if I said, I don't give a fuck about talking to these kids because I've inspired them? What about all these resellers who got my goddamn shoes, making my money off these goddamn shoes I've been selling? These my shoes.
So let me break something down.
What if he said that?
Let me break something down about Michael Jeffrey Jordan real quick, and then we'll move on. I want y'all that feel this way about Michael Jordan to see where he got all of his money from. Because when he was an NBA player, when Michael Jordan was an active NBA player, if I'm not mistaken, rappers today, the most successful rappers like the Drakes and Kendricks and a lot of them, probably have grossed more as an artist than Michael Jordan did as an athlete, as far as in what he got paid from the NBA.
Oh, word.
Dog, Jordan and Pippen and all of them dudes were getting paid small millions. When you've seen them LeBron James contracts, even Kobe's.
Oh, I mean, of course, the players now is getting crazy checks.
So think about it. Everybody from his time don't have his money, right? But why does he have the money he has? Because of a product called the Air Jordan. The bulk of this man's wealth has been in the Air Jordans and investing things that he's made off of Air Jordan, because what he made as an athlete is a joke compared to what athletes make today.
And he's snatching your money on the golf course, dice games. If you want to shoot
he's a gambler.
Paper towels into the garbage can,
he gonna bet you.
Yeah, you want to see any type of competition we could bet on. That's where Mike getting that money from.
That's where he's getting the bag from, bro. And so with understanding that about MJ, it does bother me at times when I don't like when our community targets the most successful people in the community to say they need to pull us up because
a lot of y'all, not like I said before, I said it before. How many of y'all are going to these after school programs? How many of y'all are volunteering? How many of y'all are going to PTA meetings? How many of y'all are pulling up to the school board district meetings? How many of y'all are sitting down
The community meetings.
after school and trying to make sure that your child is doing some type of constructive activity, homework, or whatever? And I ain't saying that I'm the best at it, but all I'm saying is
Your district
what
and
are
city
you
legislators, how many of them are you writing and talking to?
yeah, like when it comes time to vote and you get that little booklet in the mail, I ain't talking about vote for the president. Like when it comes to voting on measures,
Your city
and the
officials.
ballots,
Yep.
what you doing? Are you donating your time, your money, resources
To campaign parties.
to any of
and-
these type of industries that support black youth, black families? Where's the Black Child Legacy Program in your city at? Where is the organizations that help these families, not even just black children, but these families with resources? Are you going to church? And I ain't saying going to church for the Lord necessarily. Are you going to church to help homeless folks who come in there? Are you giving out food? What are you doing?
No, well, I'm gonna answer the question. What they doing is they getting on Jordan. They getting on Michael Jordan because he a billionaire. They getting on Ice Cube because he tried to write up the platinum plan with the Trump administration. You're getting on people that's trying to do things and have provided jobs. And have provided jobs for people because they're not doing what you want to do with their money. So this goes back to the point I made. Nah, I don't think black folks at all are jealous of other groups. I think we're jealous of each other. And that's part of the reason why the train is moving slower. You know what I'm saying? With trying to get to the top. That's just my belief, man. And until that stuff changes, bro, I see it being a round conversation. I'm gonna say this, bro, and we gonna pretty much close out. And I don't know if you got a chance to look at it, but I thought it was very interesting because it pertains to us as a group, bro. But I just want you to hear me out and ask this question. So I came across this clip on IG, and it caught my attention of this woman talking about how she slid into her husband's DMs.
I saw that.
And so
she fine too. She fine. I had to go back. I'm like, yeah, she fine. Like that, just naturally. Just
beautiful black woman, right?
Fine as hell.
Check this out, dog. Should our sisters put that pride aside more and slide into these brothers' DMs when it comes to trying to find a good dude?
With these conversations that they having, they better do that shit. Y'all keep talking about that nigga. You better go slide in this nigga DMs. How the fuck you think he getting all these other bitches? Because they sliding in his DMs. The reason he don't see you is because you not in his DMs. It's 1,000 other funky mouth bitches in his DM on the daily. And you wondering like when he gonna get on my page and on my timeline and hit me up. I'm waiting on him. No.
Have you talked to women before and have you asked women that you personally know how they try to get a guy's attention? Because instead of approaching him, because I have.
My baby mama the one that got at me first.
See?
Like she instantly, I forgot how old, it was like 18. She got at me.
Bruh.
She just came up. We had met each other 2 different instances or whatever. She must have been feeling me. She came up. I was standing in the group of my partners.
Oh, she did it like that?
And we all talking about her. And she come over and she grabbed my arm and was like, she wanted to walk off. Boom. And that was it.
Bruh, okay.
Like, I mean, it's a lot of women. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna lie, I've had.
What's your percentage of how many women have approached you that you've engaged with? What's that percentage? Your personal percentage?
Damn, I ain't gonna lie. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's pretty high.
Really?
I ain't gonna lie. I probably, especially in my adulthood.
Yeah. You could go at any time period in your life, but adulthood will make more sense to the conversation.
It's pretty high, bro. I'm gonna say.
Would you say about 70%, 80% of the time? You saying it's higher?
Okay,
than that?
so when we say this, all right, let's be specific. And we say if women choose, is this?
Here's the thing.
Is this when we haven't even spoken to each other yet?
Here's what I'm trying to say, bro. We live in a shoot your shot type of conversation era, right? So what I notice is there's 2 different types of women that will try to get a man's attention.
Okay.
Direct and indirect.
Okay, but I've had them be extremely direct. But
I want the it's obvious.
No, this is what I'm trying to tell you.
Percentage.
I've had them come up to me, and we had never even met yet. We in the same spot.
That
I've
counts.
Had them come up to me and instantly, like, is aggressive with it. Not overly aggressive, but they're like, they own it.
Right.
I've also had where a lot of times where we might communicate, and now they really pushing the want to be like in a relationship. So I would say sliding in the DMs is more like
you can count those
first
too.
meet. This is a first meet.
Yeah, you can count those.
So going off of that, I would say it's not as high as the shoot the shot. I would say maybe 5-6 different women I can remember right now in my life.
The reason why I'm asking, and the reason why I think this is cool, is because I think we are living in a time where certain interactions are outdated. You know, the approach, I'll even explain on a safety level why I think it's important too. I think more women should approach men sometimes for their safety in a weird way, right? Because women feel unsafe about almost everything when it comes to men. And there are some men that are decent and good, understand that and comprehend that. I'm like, man, I don't want to come off this way.
So I know exactly what you're saying, because we might not be so willing to approach you in these different situations that could have been something because we worried about perception, how you might feel we creepish now or something. So if that's how y'all feeling,
approach that dude.
And then this is another thing. The sliding in the DMs, go and slide in his DMs, because
you can see how far you wanted to go from right there.
He might not slide in your DMs. Like, a man will treat a certain woman a certain way based on how he perceives you to be.
Right.
So some men is gonna feel like, damn, sliding in their DMs. That's kind of like, damn, I can't do that.
Right.
Like, I want it to be respectful. Some men don't do that for a reason. So there might be these missed opportunities of interaction because, well, he waiting on her, she waiting on him, and you know what I'm saying. So it could go either way, but I think whoever is feeling whoever, do that.
Yeah.
We in the age now where
here's the other thing, and I want women to respond to this. Please respond to this in our comments. I've heard so many times, whether it's a female I'm cool with or whether it's a dude I'm cool with trying to holler at a female, it's always the wrong time. The gas station, the gym, they just leaving work. So I think another thing that more women need to talk about, since they got a lot to say on the internet about dudes, where are the proper places to approach you? Hey, what kind of body language are brothers supposed to read to know that it's good or not? Because there's so many different things that brothers do wrong trying to holler at you. And I think
I'm doubling back now.
What's up?
Scratch that.
What's up?
I was about to. You've been married a long time, in a relationship a pretty long time.
Yeah, for sure.
Been outside. I think the women who are getting approached by these dudes, the dude is what's your presentation like, brother? I've never, like, it's been times when I've approached women, or like I might go to this grocery store because I know you work there. Right?
I see where you going. I see where you going. So you saying like good, he pull up, good. He pull up, his car smoking, cool. His Jordans is dirty.
I smile. You see I got all my teeth. You see that you know what I'm saying? I'm not coming. My pants ain't below my ass. I'm not coming with the, hey, check it out.
Like, here's the thing.
You can still do it.
There's some women that like some weird stuff like that.
Yeah, but they're not the ones complaining about people being weird. It is some weird ass dudes who just don't know how to do their approach. So a lot of these women, I think, are talking about the individual dudes, the weirdos.
But I also believe that some women feel like the wrong time, is an issue too. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with the fact that they don't even find the dude attractive and they mad.
Yeah, because it's never the wrong time when you're attracted.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you should pop at somebody at a funeral.
Shit, that shit didn't happen, my nigga. Niggas done got it. Niggas done scoped out the funeral. Nigga done scoped out the funeral like, okay, all right, you ain't really crying too much.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
I'm not related. You ain't related. So we kind of like ain't really crying too much. Like, we here to, Like,
sorry about little Tony, but I wanted. I've been meaning to want to holler at you.
I've been seeing you like you looking like unemotional. Like you good?
Yo, bringing her a plate at the repast with some juice. I figured you would need something.
Nah, but real talk. Like I don't think it's ever. It's ever. Are you family? Who your auntie?
I mean, it's a couple times. You know what I'm saying? Like after a fight, you know, if it's a group of females that was fighting,
you ever need to talk.
What if it's a group of females that was fighting and you notice one of them was bad? Should you go over there and be like, hey, listen, I know this ain't the right time. You got haymakers, but I want to let you know that, you know, you was looking good when you was throwing them hands. Bro, there's some wrong times.
I got into a relationship with a girl who her and her sisters jumped my cousin.
Huh?
And we had a whole family like situation. And then now I see her the next time.
Where's this going?
Like
that's crazy.
Bro, I done been with a couple of females before.
You can literally say there's never a wrong time, bro.
When we first interacted, like it's been at least like 3 women that like we don't like each other. But it's and now we in a relationship, or not even a relationship. We like each other. There's some type of something.
So
that's weird.
So it's fair to say that there's nothing wrong, and that and women should, you know, definitely they should holler more. Holler more.
Holla. Anybody that's ready to
You singing Ja Rule? You can't do that, bro. 50. We sorry about that. I still want my role on Power Heat. I don't know it.
But nah, man. Shoot your shot. This is the day and the age where it's really all that old.
It's not frowned upon. Remember, it was a point in time where like women was deemed a certain type of way. It was deemed fast or whatever if they approached men. And I just bring that out because this woman literally told kind of like a fairy tale story of her sliding in her husband's DMs, and they've been married, what, like 6 years or so.
You think that? Oh, you said it was fairy tale. I thought you were saying it's false.
Well, no, I was saying it's a fairy tale because that's what a lot of women want. They want a happy relationship, a healthy relationship. And she basically said, I went and got what I wanted. And there's a lot of women that are waiting for what they want to come to them. And in this climate, it's so iffy that you shouldn't just depend on one way to meet a person. That's all I'm saying.
And if
I agree with her story. Not to say that she was trying to tell y'all something.
Access to too many of y'all. Like, think about this. Back in the day, before we had like social medias,
you had to go somewhere.
Yeah, but wherever you was going, you was gonna see whoever was in your city. You wasn't seeing all these women.
Well, to keep it real, we kind of went places if we knew a certain somebody was going to be there too.
Yeah, but my nigga, we looking on Instagram, you going to see somebody in every single state, every single city. It's too many of y'all women.
Too much access.
We have access to for you to think
that we're going to notice you.
Is going to stick out like a sore thumb necessarily.
Yeah. And if you do stand out, a lot of times it's not for the best reasons.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not to say that there's anything wrong, but a lot of women, you know, if you got a banging body and that's what men are noticing first, now you subconsciously don't know if they like you for you or what you was wearing. It's so many
on Instagram.
Yeah.
And not only that is we looking at the ass and y'all looking at the ass.
Yeah.
So it's so much ass being shown. It's a lot of ass. It's a lot of it. So now the algorithm is flooded with ass.
Yeah.
It's not enough of, we not showing off our bodies like that on Instagram. Y'all not looking for the BBL abs.
Well, dudes advertise something differently. They advertise and they not. They because a lot of these dudes that what they doing is they advertising the lifestyle that they want. All the girls are showcasing the body because men are sex driven, and all the men are showcasing the resources for the exchange.
Like that nigga King on Instagram. Yeah, King, I see what you doing, my man. It's enough is enough, man. Hey, knock it off, bro.
I'll tell you another thing.
Because how is he doing that?
I'll tell you another thing that these brothers be doing too.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
Hey, salute.
It's another thing that these brothers be doing too before you get out of here is the ones that get online and they clean up, right? They do a video of them cleaning up. And then they do
I started following a nigga doing that.
And they do the voiceover and they make sure that they cleaning up without their shirt on. What I like to do first, I like to light candles.
This nigga had a shirt on. The house following.
They like to light candles. And I like to do a little sweeping and stuff like that. A little bit of fabuloso to the aromas. And then after that, I like to pour myself. And I'm like, bro, why is you talk?
I see that nigga
what is you doing, man?
Cleaning his windows. I said, man, I cleaned my windows the day I had to move out my apartment.
What you talking about, bro? I ain't doing all of that. What a newspaper at?
But I am a dude. I do, you know what I'm saying?
But what they do that's clever, and because that's the hook. You know, a lot of men get a reputation for not being tidy and clean. So that's attractive to women. And then when you're doing things that a woman would like as far as ambiance, candles and stuff.
Candles.
So they like, oh.
The lights is dim.
Right. Yeah.
You got multiple lights.
And the dude fit and everything like that. And he's 6'something. So they like, I see what y'all doing, bro. I'm not even hating. I see what you're doing, brothers.
Hey, King, I've been doing my push-ups. Hundreds a day. Me and my son, we getting up there. I won't expect to be like where you at in that trajectory, but I ain't going for the BBL legs to get taller. What I can say is
BBL legs is crazy.
You ain't seen a nigga with the BBL legs? That's a nigga with the BBL legs. I'll send you the link. But yeah, to close out, yes, I see a lot of those videos. One, that's what I do at my house all the time. Actually, I did that today. We just went through this is a Sunday routine. Mopped, put a bunch of thyme, rosemary, lime, and oranges in the pot. Boiled that up and let that steam up in the house. We went through. We deep
is that the bait? Is that the bait for the women to slide in the DMs? That's a little
slide,
bit.
Go ahead.
We gonna call that stuff. Them is bait bombs.
Slide.
Bait bombs.
I do that all that too. And then on the fact of women, y'all dirty as hell.
Hey,
the women nowadays.
Hey, bro, we gotta talk about that.
Dirty
we ain't gonna do it now, but we gotta talk about that.
Dirty, unorganized.
Man, hey, you know what's crazy?
And men, we are the ones who got our.
But check this out. The crazy thing is when you said that there's a lot more modern women that are dirty. You know how we know? Because y'all selfies tell on y'all backgrounds.
And I done lived with you. I was almost going to say something. I done lived with y'all before and been in y'all houses.
Yeah.
And y'all be preferring to come, when I be like, what's up, I'm trying to slide. I'm just come to your house.
Why?
You know, because my couch is matching. I got coffee table, you know what I'm saying, flowers and plants and shit everywhere. Shit is nice, man. Yeah.
It's what it is. Hey. Finna get up out of here, man. You've been tuning in to the Notion Podcast on a very real and serious episode of Outlawed Opinions. I'm your host, Dizzy D Spill, with my co-host in the building.
It's me, man. Apartment Poe.
Until next time, peace.